course, GST101. I informed us that this course is basically trying to imbibe in you two skills. One is listening skill, the other one is reading skills. And you find out that during the course of your study now, you will need these two skills very importantly in everything you do, because time to time you have to listen to facilitations like this, listen to your mates in the groups and any other place you guys gather. And time to time you have to study on your own by reading. So if you don't know how to read effectively, you have issue, especially considering the nature of the school. You see some of the course materials having 300 pages, 400 pages, you get lost. From opening the material, you're already confused because the pages are somehow bulky and you are already feeling tired even before starting. But with the right sense of reading, if you know how to read, which is why this material is compulsory for every department, no matter what you are studying, you have to do just 101. It will help you in your course, and in the course of your study to do well. You know how to read, so that while reading materials, you get the best from it. You not just open and dump. Also, listening while in class like this, it will help you get the content rightly. So we've done what is listening, we've done why you must listen, and we've done what you listen to. And we moved on in the last class to that last class. I think we talked about listening enabling skills. Those are the skills you need for effective listening. If you want to listen to anything at all, a talk, a chat, a lecture, a conversation, a phone call, what are the skills necessary for you to listen? We mentioned them in the last class, so let me quickly go through them. We have functioning ears, concentration, ability to think along with the speaker, ability to anticipate what the speaker is about to say, and ability to note important signposts that keep the listening activity going. We talked at length on all these points in the last class, so we don't need to go through them again. So today, in that last class also, we look at some things. I think there was this other part we talked about in the last class before we concluded this section. So what we are to start today, okay, we did listening and comprehension in the last class. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Listening and comprehension. We talked about the relationship, and the relationship is very simple. You listen to comprehend, and you comprehend while listening. That is the relationship between listening and what? Comprehension. You listen to comprehend, which means the initial motive of you joining a facilitation is to understand what the facilitator is going to talk about. And the only way to get that understanding is by listening. So if you have that motive in mind right from the initial, while you join the class, it helps you to gain something from the class. But if you don't know that the reason why you join a class is for you to understand what is to be done in that class, you will not listen to what is being done there. You might be distracted, you might be looking at what others are doing, what does it concern you? And at the end, you would have wasted 1 hour gaining nothing. So that is why we say that there is a relationship between listening and comprehension. One is the action, the other one is reaction. Listening is the action. Comprehension is the reaction expected from that action. So once you've taken the action, which is listening to something, a lecture or facilitation, whatever, what is expected of you to come back with is understanding. We said another word for comprehension is what? Understanding. To comprehend means to understand. So we've talked about that too in the last class. We talked at length, and we stopped on, I think that was where we stopped. Or do we do one other thing there? Let me check. Okay, so today we'll go to So I will continue on listening and also comprehension. So listening and comprehension. I hope you guys are still getting me clearly.
Yes.
All right, so listening comprehension. So far in this unit, we stressed the fact that listening is closely related to comprehension. Yes. In this action, we are going to discuss how to comprehend. In order to comprehend, you should. Okay, now, the first thing we have talked about is listening enabling skills. If you still remember, 5 of them: listening, ears, comprehension, ability to
Ability.
along with the speaker, notice, signpost, and the rest of them. So we have 5 of them treated in the second class. Yes. Now this one, we want to talk about another thing entirely: comprehension. While I'm listening to someone, as you are listening to me now, how can you understand what I'm talking about or what you are listening to? So this is another level of skill that we want to introduce you to, on how to effectively understand what you are listening to at any point in time. Don't forget, we've done something in the last class about various levels of understanding. We said that it is not every speech you listen to that you need to understand, that you need to give full attention. There are some chats, there are some conversation that doesn't concern you, that you don't need. Those kind of conversation, you don't need to give them full attention. You can, according to that last class, we said you can listen to those kind of conversation superficially. When you listen to something superficially, it means that thing is not necessarily important to your own field or to your own life. So it's just a side talk about, maybe some people are just chatting over there. You don't need to give full attention to that, because whether you understand what they're saying there or not is none of your business. But in a case when you need the understanding of what is being discussed, how do you get that understanding? The first thing, comprehension of any form of listening activity, is that you have to listen attentively. The first comprehension, the first skill required for comprehension in any listening activity is listen attentively. Please note that the first one is what? You have to listen attentively, which means your attention must be in what is being said. You are following with full attention. Then the next thing is that you have to follow the speaker. So it's somewhat similar to the skills you need in the listening skills that you need, which we've done in the second class, which says that you ability to think along with the speaker, if you remember that. So you follow the speaker, which means what? As I'm speaking, your mind is actually following. So you think that you are probably going to know what I will say next, even before saying it. That means you are following the speaker. But you can't get to that point in listening if you have not been listening attentively. So when you listen attentively and you are following the speaker, something will happen. It will help you. It's going to stimulate you in getting proper understanding of what the person is saying. And even if you don't understand the part, you'll be able to pick out questions. So when you listen to someone with full attention, it is expected of you that at the end of the listening activity, you should be able to, call out some questions based on what you have digested from the speech, or some things you feel like the person didn't do well, or needs modification, or need more clarification. Now, for you to be able to listen and comprehend, you have to possess a wide range of vocabulary related to the subject being discussed. This is especially important in technical speeches, like a scientist giving a speech. If you don't know the names of all those botanical names that will be mentioned, if you don't know the name of chemicals and the rest of them, if you don't know terminologies that are being used in that field, if you as a mass comm student now listen to a doctor giving a speech, will be somehow confused because a whole lot of vocabularies will be there that the man will be using, which you don't even have an idea of what they mean. So, how do you help yourself in gaining wide range of vocabulary? You learn new words every day and decide that in a week, I'm going to learn 5 new words. Or in a week, I'm going to learn 7 new words. That means 1 new word a day. And as you learn it, you use it, you practice it, you use it to when you are talking, you insert them into your speeches. And even when you are writing, you are going to use them. That is how you learn and you start, widening your vocabulary. And you also listen to speeches of people who are professional, like news and all the rest of them. From all those, you watch, some of you get new vocabularies from movies. If you watch American movies, you learn new vocabularies and the rest of them. So, wide range of vocabulary is very important if you will understand any listening activity you are likely to engage in. Now, recognize general speech pattern and major speech divisions such as introduction, main body of speech, transitional clues, change of ideas, shift of emphasis, summary, concluding remarks, etc. Now, as we continue in this material, you will learn that a very good writing or speech has several parts. The first thing you do in any speech you want to give or any piece of writing you want to, write is to start with introducing that topic that you want to treat in that either in the speech or in the notes. So you should know when your speaker is in introduction or when the person has moved to the main body of the speech. To know when the person is using clues, transitional clues, we are going to learn about what transitional clues, what they are. We'll treat them in this material. Now, change of ideas, shift of emphasis, summary, and all those stuff. When you know each of these divisions of speech, helps you to know, okay, for instance, while I'm still doing introduction, your mind might not be fully in the speech. But the moment I move to the main body of the speech, you should know that the main thing I want to talk about has begun. So you must be fully attentive. So each of these, we are still going to treat them, what they mean in the body of speech or in your understanding of a speech. So just know that, very important, recognize general speech pattern and major speech divisions. That is number 3. Or sorry, number 4 of how to comprehend. That is how to understand what you are listening to. Put your experience of the world to bear on the topic. One of the simplest way of understanding a speech is when you put your own experience on that topic into the speech. For instance, now as I'm talking about listening and comprehension, you have several experiences on listening. You've been listening all your life and you've had to understand several levels. So if you are comparing your own experience now, you are putting it into this class, you find out that it's become easier for you to understand what you are saying. But if I'm actually talking above your head, let's say, for instance, what you are treating here today is something you have never, ever, ever experienced, what you don't know about at all. You don't even know that thing exists in the world. You find out that you have that kind of speech, you find it very difficult to get anything out of it. So putting your experience, we are still going to talk about you as the person delivering the speech. How to deliver a speech that your audience will understand. One of the points is that you should not speak above their head. And what that one means is either using vocabulary too high for your audience or taking them a topic that they actually don't have interest in or they don't have any prior experience on. Now, then you should show interest in the topic. If, for instance, what we are treating here today is one thing you don't like, even in real life, you find it difficult to understand it, no matter how hard the person handling the class is shouting or trying to explain, you will still find it difficult to understand. So in a nutshell, if you will listen to anything or any lecture and understand the lecture, you have to do the following. One, listen attentively, follow the speaker, possess a wide range of vocabulary related to the subject being discussed, recognize general speech pattern and major speech divisions. Put your experience of the world to bear on the topic and show interest in the topic. So let's unmute ourselves and take it together. What are the things you need in order to comprehend the speech? Yes? Everybody unmute.
Listening, follow the speaker,
It's only one person that is in
possess,
class.
listening attentively, follow the speaker, possess a wide range of vocabulary, recognize speech pattern, put your experience of the world. Put your experience of the world to be on the topic and then show interest in the topic.
All right, that's nice. So since it's only one person we have in the class, thank God. So that is on how to comprehend what you are listening to. Now let's move to something else in this class. Steps to listening comprehension. You know, we are combining two things together, listening and comprehension. Although it's almost impossible to separate both of them because it's just like two actions happening on the same line. You are listening because you want to understand. You understand while listening. So you almost can't separate those two. So steps to listening comprehension. What are the steps involved in listening comprehension? Let's see. Where is the main? This is when they normally use audio CD, but that is during the first days of it's no longer part of the system now. They removed it already. Okay, let's go to the chart. The steps are actually in the chart. Look at them here. Under listening attentively, you know we've done them already previously. So we are trying to break them down now. When we say listen attentively, how do I do it? Hope you understand what we want to do now. So those are the steps that I want to talk about now. You already know that in order to listen and understand, you have to listen attentively. But you should have a question there that, okay, how do I listen attentively? Number one is that the steps you take to listen attentively, you have to show high concentration, which means your mind is fully there in what is being said. Avoid noise and distractions. If you are in a class where you are interested in or when you want to gain something, you have to avoid as much as possible anything noise or distraction, because one small distraction will take your mind off the topic. By the time you are back, you've missed some important things that have been said. So that's why you have to avoid noise and distractions. Now, be focused. Do not let your mind wander away. If you are to join a class where you know you want to fully gain something, you should not put food on fire. So while the class is going, your mind is actually calculating it's minute 10 minutes for that rice to get born. So you are multitasking in your mind. You will not gain anything from the class because obviously the food will be more important to you than the class by then. So you don't multitask or do things simultaneously when you are listening. If you want to listen attentively, it has to be what that person is saying. In fact, I don't know if you have been with some people, maybe some of your bosses, or if you are a boss yourself, when some of your workers are addressing you. Have you ever had that statement that look into my eyes while talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone ever giving you that command, like you are speaking, probably your head is wandering around.
Yes.
Person will say, please focus, look into my eyes and talk to me. Those kind of
Yes,
people, they already know what it means to listen attentively. When you look into someone's eyes, eh, any wondering you want to wonder, you'll be wondering in that eyes that you're looking at. Hmm. So that is what it means that fix your eye on the speaker. You have to fix your eye on the speaker.
On the
Very
speaker.
importantly, it helps you. When you do that, number one, you gain the boldness that is necessary, and then you'll be able to, even the slightest change in the person's facial expression, you'll be able to note the change. Because sometimes some people speak more with their facial expression than even the words they are saying. So once you're able to read the eyes, the facial expression, focus your mind on one thing at a time, avoid noise and distraction, show high concentration, you'll be able to listen attentively. So from today, if you want to join a class, you have to note 4 important things. Your concentration must be high. You should avoid noise as much as possible and distractions also. You know, this one is somehow almost impossible for us do it in our system like this, but you have to try as much as possible to suppress the noise and distractions around you. They will be there, but you just have to. That is why the first thing is high concentration. Then you have to be focused. Do not let your mind wander away and fix your eye on the speaker. Now, how do you follow the speaker? We've talked about how to listen attentively. How do I follow the speaker? Imagine what he is saying. Have you ever experienced this? You pick up a book and you are reading, and you are already dramatizing the whole thing as if you are watching the movie. You are reading the book, oh, but the whole thing is going on in your brain, in your head like that, as if you are watching the movie. You will be putting the characters in images form and all the rest of them. Have you experienced that before? Why reading?
yes, sir.
So
Yes.
it happens a
Yes, sir.
lot. If you do that
Yes.
while reading, you should also be able to do it while listening. So when someone is saying something, let it sink in your brain, like your brain is already dramatizing what this person is saying. When you start imagining, probably let's say this is a technical class and I'm
Yes.
teaching you guys biology, and probably we're talking about some organs of the body. You should start imagining those organs that the person is talking about. It helps you a lot. You know, they used to say that an image is worth more than 1,000 words. That's very true. If you should teach someone something by image, by showing the person the image, or if you want to tell me now that an apple is this, is that, no matter how good you are in using adjectives and the rest of them, you will not be able to tell me as much detail as I will need to understand an apple. Like someone bringing an apple to my phone to show me that, take, this is an apple. So imagination is very important while you follow the speaker. Then speak along with him. It's not like while the person is like I'm speaking now, you don't have to be talking to. Like if I say A, you say A. That is not what it means. If I'm going now and I'm saying, do you understand? You say yes. If that is not part of it, like the other time now I said that everybody should go through the first set of the skills that you need to listen attentively. Sorry, to understand what to listen to. Only one person was in the class then. That is what they meant, like follow the speaker. That means the rest of you were not following. That is just what it means automatically. So when we say speak along with the speaker, we're not saying that you should be repeating what the speaker is saying, but when the speaker says something like, do you understand? Are you following? Are you with me? You should be able to get responses from you guys. That is what it means by speak along. Now, be close to him in thought. What this means is that if what we are talking about here is about how to prepare rice, you should be able to follow the speaker to the extent that everything the person is thinking about on that topic, you are able to get it. You know it. You are thinking the same. Your mind is on the same level of thought. So how do you follow the speaker? Imagine what he is saying. Speak along with him. Be close to him in thought. Now let's take this practically. Now, how to take the steps for listening attentively. So how do you listen attentively? Can you all give us the point in an orderly manner now on how to listen attentively. Everybody unmute yourself now. Let's see if you guys are still following the speaker.
Slow eye
Show high
concentration.
concentration.
Okay.
Avoid noise and distractions.
Okay.
Be focused.
Focus. Do not let your mind wander away.
Wait.
Fix your
Fix
eyes on
your
the
eyes
speaker.
on the speaker.
All right, that is good. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Now, how do you possess vocabulary? We've done that. This is not a question, so you can meet yourself back. So how do I possess vocabulary? We've done that earlier on as it just like we just say it like a broad topic. Now let's look at it. You said that if I want to understand what I'm listening to, I have to have a wide range of vocabulary of the topic or what's being said. So how do I do that? Read widely on the topic before the lecture. For instance, if the facilitator in the last class says, our next class will be on listening and comprehension, you should have gone to your own materials and read everything in the material under listening and comprehension before the class. So while reading the topic, you come across some words that are heavier than you. You check your dictionary, you learn them before time. So when the speaker is actually mentioning those words, it doesn't look new to you. Search the library. That's another thing. To possess vocabulary, search the library, then bring to memory all words related to the topic. So when you are treating listening and comprehension now, everything you know before about comprehension and about listening, you should bring them to mind while this topic is going on. Now, recognize general speech pattern. What are the speech patterns? How do I do that? Know what introduction is given. Be conscious of the major speech divisions. Note transitional words such as now, then, later, on the other hand, firstly, however, and so on and so forth. So these ones are what we call transitional devices or clues. And what they mean is that we use them to transit from one idea to another. For instance, if what I've been talking about before is on listening, if I want to move on now and I want to transit into talking about comprehension, I will now say in continuation, or I can now say now, let's talk about comprehension, which means before we have been talking about something. So all those words like now, then, later, furthermore, in continuation, now let's begin, and so on and so forth. They are trying to show you that something is either changing or coming in. So you have to note those words. Now, note shift of emphasis, change of ideas, etc. Note when the speaker is summarizing all points. That moment is important, which means after everything has been said, the speaker is done with the introduction, the main body, and everything he wants to say. Once you hear the word in conclusion, anything the person wants to say there or then, you have to pay attention to it. It's very important to that speech. Then note the conclusion also. Now, previous knowledge. How do you apply your previous knowledge to a lecture? Think about what you know about the topic before. Think about what is going on at the moment related to the topic, and think about the horrible or pleasant experience about the topic. So, having said that, I think we are done with this unit. Anything here, all these self-assessment, blah, 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 try that yourself. So let's try 3.3. I think we have 7 minutes. We can still do that. Now, factors affecting. Okay, I think I did not point us to some questions that you are likely to meet on what we've done. Mostly what they ask here is they sometimes list some of these points and put one that is not part of it for you to pick it out. I think mostly. Then on transitional clues, they normally ask that which of the following is not a transitional device or clue. So they will list all the ones that are part and one that is not part. They put now, then, on the other hand, and then something that is totally out of it that you know, it will be obvious. You will see that this one is not part of it. So let's see factors affecting comprehension. Now that I know how to listen and I know how to comprehend, the two has been meshed together, and I know how to do both effectively. What are the things that can affect me from understanding what I'm listening to? What are the factors? Now, this section is directly the opposite of the last section that we just concluded now about how to listen attentively or how to understand what you are listening to. The last section we just concluded now is talking about how to understand what you listen to, whether a speech, a lecture, or whatever. Now, what are the things that affect your understanding? So you just opposite. One, when you are not familiar with the topic, not being familiar with the topic, this is very important. They are talking about, let's say, one big medical word that you have never heard in your life, and you're under that topic, you are sitting down. It will just be like the person is acting film. You will not understand. The whole thing will just, you will just be hearing grammar and the rest of them. You'll be wondering what they are doing. It's just like you bringing a child that is just 2 years old to a university lecture. To the child, they are just playing. Like, I'm just watching the play, drama. So if you are not familiar with the topic, is a trouble. Now, lack of concentration, that one is from you. Lack of concentration will cause you not to understand what you are listening to. Lack of interest. For instance, assuming this class is for mass communication student, and you are a science student studying, let's say, biology, and mass comm are having class. So the now said that everybody attend the class, whether you are mass comm or not, and everything that's dealing there is dealing with mass communication. For the fact that the class does not concern your field, you don't have interest in it. So anything that's saying there, you are likely not to understand. Not really that it's bigger than this one. Now is not that the vocabulary is bigger than you, but because you don't have interest in what they're doing, you felt like this thing is not part of my own courses job. I'm just wasting my time. So once you don't have interest in anything, no matter how good the facilitator is, you will not understand. Now, limited language and vocabulary of the subject matter. That is another thing. Just the opposite of what we've done before. And then inability to think deeply. This think deeply is very important, especially those of you that are in science class. In fact, I think, like, was it last semester or so? There was a semester like that they have to stop me from asking questions, because once I ask one question like this, that class is over. They will choose that question till the end of the class. So you have to be able to think deeply, so that when the person is saying something, your thought has gone as far as even 10 years to now on that same topic, and you bring out questions. So those are factors affecting comprehension. Please, let's take them together. What you say, you are likely not to forget quickly. So 1, 2, go. Everybody on mute. What are the factors affecting comprehension?
Not being
Being
familiar with the topic,
Topic.
lack
Lack
of
of
concentration,
concentration.
lack of interest, limited language
Language
and
and vocabulary
vocabulary
of
of the subject matter, inability to think deeply.
All right, thank you. I think we've done right today. So that is all on this unit, and we can conclude. So far in this course material, we've done what is listening, we've done why you have to listen, and we've done what you listen to. We also talked about listening enabling skills, about 5 of them. Now we talked about listening and comprehension, the relationship between them, which is just simple as you listen to comprehend and you comprehend while listening. And I think we've done the skills that you need, how to understand what to listen to. We've done that today, and we've explained the steps to take for each of the skills listed there. And finally, we've done factors affecting comprehension. So we have just 1 minute to this class. Please, if you have any question, throw it out now. Next, we will be going to the next time we'll be having class. We'll talk about listening comprehension and note taking. See, this topic is very important because you will still meet questions in your TMA on this topic. So don't miss it. The next class, the moment I give the alert, try to be there. This topic is both important for your TMA and your exam, especially note taking. So please don't miss it. Any question? Class will end anytime now.
Please, I have a question.
All
Good
right.
afternoon, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, my question is, it's not related to the topic that we did today. I just want to know how to get into the WhatsApp group for GST101.
I'm not sure if they've done any official facilitation yet, but the moment they do it, they will create a group in that class. That is it. So you wait for the facilitation to hold first. That means the school official facilitation.
Okay. All right.
They'll
Thank you.
create a group there. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day.